I've recently finalized the latest version of the Kingdom Hearts Commander Draft Cube, version 0.8. Having worked on the set for so long, I feel like I'm finally getting close to a version that is print-worthy. But I'm in desperate need of something very important in game development, and that's testing. So if you've ever wanted to draft and play with the cards that I've been talking about on this channel, then this is the video for you. Welcome to the Alex Makes Games YouTube channel, where I make videos about the game projects I'm working on. So far, that's the Kingdom Hearts Commander Draft Cube, a completely custom set of over 870 cards designed to create a draft environment where the world of Kingdom Hearts meets the mechanical depth of Magic the Gathering. And to actually experience this environment and draft the cube, we're going to have to start by going to PlaneSculptors. Link is on screen now and in the description, but this is the platform for drafting the cube. It doesn't require you to download anything at all. It's all available in a browser. You do have to download stuff later when it comes to actually playing the deck you've drafted, but for now, we'll focus on the draft. Firstly, sign up. Only one person needs to have an account with PlaneSculptors in order to start a draft pod, and that person will become the host, but one account is required. Now that you have your account and you are ready to accept the responsibility of hosting a draft, then you just need to go up to the host event button in the top right and then click on Cube Draft. Once you've done that, you come to a massive page full of sets. This is basically every set that PlaneSculptors hosts. The fastest way to get to the cube is to Control F and then search for Kingdom Hearts EDH Cube. And then you will find the cube in two parts, part 1 and part 2. It's way too big to be a single set in PlaneSculptors, and this is the only way I've been able to make this happen. When the cube is physical, you will draft with 3 packs of 21, so a total 63 cards in total. But because a pack in PlaneSculptors is always 15 cards, the right thing to do here is add 1 of each part. 2 packs of part 1 and 2 packs of part 2. Using the add button next to the sets. Then when you scroll up to the top of the page, you should see 4 boxes for the sets that you've added. You can put them in any order. The important thing is that there's 2 of each, because the set's designed to work with both part 1 and part 2. You'll miss out a lot of cards if you only draft 1 part. But if you want to, totally up to you. Then hit Open Event. Congratulations! You can send the link to your friends in order to join the pod. You yourself should also join as a player so that you can actually take part in the draft. If you want them, you can also add some fake players to help fill out a pod, but be warned, they have exactly 2 brain cells between them and will just make random decisions with absolutely no strategy. Finally, when all your real and fake players are in, just hit Start Event and you're already cracking your first pack. Choose wisely. Once you have your 60 cards, you'll see them in a collection similar to this. You can drag them into the various columns to help build your deck, and you can put anything that you don't want in your final deck in the sideboard. You can even sort the cards by CMC, rarity, or color to help with organizing everything. A couple of quick drafting tips. Always be on the lookout for commanders. Even when the game is physically printed, there won't be a commander-specific pack or anything like that. The commanders you get are the ones that you find. Your deck does have to care about color identity, so if you have a 3-color commander, you can only use those 3 colors. And planeswalkers are designed to be able to be your commander, just in case you find a cool planeswalker and that's your only available option. There are backup commanders if you have nothing, but they're not great. So now you've drafted a cool deck. Sweet. Now you want to play a game with it? That's a little harder, but don't worry, we've got instructions for that as well. The cube can be played on a piece of software called Cockatrice, which is mostly used to play Magic the Gathering online as an online client. So now we need to start downloading stuff. First, you need to get the set XML file. There's a link to it in the description, and download the set's XML and the image file that you find at that link. Then you need to download Cockatrice, another link in the description. When you open Cockatrice for the first time, it might ask you to import some sets. You don't have to do this if you only want to play with the Kingdom Hearts Commander Draft Cube, but since Cockatrice can also be used to play with existing Magic cards, you can do that as well if you want to. That's up to you. Then, once you've gotten through that, you want to go to the top left and click on Card Database. Then open Custom Sets folder. Here, you need to put the XML file that you downloaded earlier. This is the file that contains all of the text information about what all the cards do. If you're updating the version of the set that you have installed, don't drag and replace it, but actually remove the old file entirely and then put the new one in. I don't know exactly why, but I think Cockatrice can be a little bit fidgety with stuff like that. I don't know why it works, I just know it does. Once you've done that, you can close that window and then go back to Card Database and click Open Custom Image Folder. I guess this one speaks for itself, but now all the pictures that you downloaded earlier, you just need to drag all of them into this window. Not the folder, but the individual images themselves. Cockatrice will read the images from this file directory and won't dive into other folders that you put in, I don't think. When you're done, it'll look something like this. Then completely close and reload Cockatrice. I have no idea why, but it only checks the custom image and custom sets folder once when it's opened. Once you've added new stuff, you just have to reopen the software. And now you can see the set there. Click on some cards. Make sure that the images match properly. If any of the images are missing, make sure that you re-download them. All right, next step. Now we need to get your drafted deck in here. Quickly go back to PlaneSculptors and click on Export Deck. You'll get a really big text file, so just Control A and copy all of that to your clipboard. Then, back in Cockatrice, just go to Deck Editor at the top left and click on Load Deck from Clipboard. A little window will appear with the text in it that you just copied. Just make sure that the text is correct, and then save the deck with Control S and name it whatever you like. Okay, final hurdle, we're on the home stretch. Now you've just got to set up the game and you're good to go. So in Cockatrice, click on Cockatrice at the top left and then click on Register to Server. I'm registered to the Rooster Rangers server, so I'd say use that, but I don't know if it matters, I have to admit. Could a Cockatrice expert fact check me about that in the comments? Thank you very much. But once you've registered and made an account, then hit connect. Every player does need their own account like this in order to join the game. So every single player that joins your draft pod has to do this as well. Not the fake ones though, obviously. Once you've done that and you're connected all properly, you'll see a new tab open in the top bar called Magic. Click on that. This is essentially the game space where you create and join games. I'm going to assume that you're the host, so click on Create in the middle here. Now customize the details of your game. Describe it how you like. I recommend clicking on Commander, set the number of players and then press go. Now, just get your friends to find the game, which will just appear in the box here, and click on the join button. The final step, once you've got the game open, is to load the deck that you just saved earlier. Cockatrice will save it in a decks folder as a .cod file. And once everybody is ready and you hit ready to play, the game is good to go. And now you are sat at a table playing the deck you've just drafted. Be warned, Cockatrice is not as good as Magic Arena. It doesn't track anything for you. You have to do everything manually. So, if a player attacks you with a 2/2 creature and you don't block, you have to manually drop your life total by 2. You also have to move phases and make decisions about that as you go. It definitely helps to have an open communication link between you and the rest of your players so that you can talk to each other as if you were physically around a real table. Just a couple of useful shortcuts that I found really helpful with Cockatrice. If you hit Control M, it's Mulligan. Basically, that lets you shuffle your hand into your deck and draw a number of cards that you say, that you could say 7, 5, 400, up to you. Control I rolls a dice for you. Any number of sides, just put in the number and hit go and it'll spit out a number. Control T is make a token. For custom tokens like Heartless or Unversed, you have to type the name of the token exactly. And it is case sensitive. If you type the name wrong, you'll just get a colored square with the name that you wrote on it. But if you get it right, you'll get the image appear, and it makes obviously keeping track of a board state a lot easier. And the last one from me is Control J, which is clone a card. It's really good for when an effect creates multiple of the same tokens, or if you're making token copies of permanents. And now you're ready to play. Good luck, I hope you have a great game. Thank you so much for listening to this video, and I hope it was helpful for you, and I really hope that you enjoy playing with the cards that I've spent so much time putting together. Be warned, I'm really not the best at debugging issues with Cockatrice, but there's a huge and wonderful community out there, so with a quick Google search, I'm sure you'd be able to fix any issue that you might come across with it. But if there are issues with the cube, whether that's the images or the XML or any problem like that, please comment. I will do my best to help you guys out as much as I can. I really hope you enjoy the decks you build and the games that you play. If you have any feedback on the cards in the set, any rules questions about the new mechanics, or have any suggestions for things that you see, please do let me know either in the comments of this video or any video that I put up, or reach out to me directly on Twitter, or X as it's being rebranded to. I will always appreciate getting feedback from you guys. It literally makes every day I get to read it. Thank you so much. Typos especially. Let me know if you see any typos. I'm sure there's like a million, but they're so hard to find. Thank you so much for your time, guys. I hope that version 0.8 is everything that you want it to be, and soon we will reach that mythical version 1, at which point I can finally sit down and say, yep, the cube is done, until Kingdom Hearts 4 comes out and I want to make like 50 new cards. I hope you all have a wonderful day.